So this tutorial is about the mole concept. You'll need a copy of the periodic table and a calculator for this tutorial. Now if we actually go ahead and have a look at what the mole concept is, it's very important that you actually can define what a mole is. Now 1 mole is defined as 6 times 10 to the power 23 atoms or molecules. Alright, so it's just stating that there are this number of atoms or molecules present in the substance. Okay, whether it's a solid, liquid or a gas. It doesn't matter what the substance is, there are this number of atoms or molecules present. That is what 1 mole is. Now the reason why we actually use the term 1 mole is because this number is just too difficult to put into our calculators. Alright, so using 1 mole to represent this number is much easier. Right, so if this is 1 mole, what will 2 moles look like? Okay, well 2 moles of course is going to be twice as many, so just multiply this number by 2. Okay, if it was 4 moles, you'd multiply this number by 4. If it was 12 moles, you multiply this number by 12. Okay, now when we are doing calculations, students find this triangle quite useful. So you've got mass at the top, you've got moles down here, and you've got the relative atomic mass or relative molecular mass at the bottom. Now if you don't know what these are, you should really go and look up what they are, but for this tutorial I'll just briefly mention what numbers we can use for that. Now if you have a look at your periodic table, you'll see you've got 2 numbers, you've got 7 and 3 for lithium. Alright, now when you take the relative atomic mass, it'll be the bigger number. You always take the large number of the 2. So if you look, for example, at oxygen, you should see you've got 2 numbers again. You've got 16 and 8. So relative atomic mass for oxygen is 16. Alright, so we look at magnesium. Magnesium has 2 numbers. You've got 12 and 24. The relative atomic mass for magnesium is 24. So you always take the large number of the 2. Okay. So let's look at the first example. We've got the question, what is the mass of 2 moles of magnesium? Okay, well what can we do? How will we use this triangle to help us? Well, it's asking us to find out the mass. So what we will do is we can cover up mass, and that will tell us what the equation we should use. The equation is moles times AR or MR. Okay, so let's go back to the question. So you cover up mass because that's what you're trying to find out. Whatever you're trying to find out, you cover it up. Okay, that gives me my calculation. Moles times by the AR. Okay, now we know we've got the moles is 2. We get that from the question. The AR you get from your periodic table. It's the bigger number. Magnesium is 24. You just put it into the equation. It's going to be 2 times 24. And the answer is 48 grams. Don't forget your units, it's very important. Normally in the mole concept, mass is normally measured in grams. Okay, let's look at another example. So if you're asking to find out the moles, okay, the equation we put in is mass divided by the AR or MR. Okay, so let's have a look. How many moles are there in 14 grams of lithium? So you put your hand over moles, and the equation is mass divided by AR. Now you know what the mass is. We get from the question. We've got 14 grams. The AR you get from your periodic table, which is 7. Okay, and you just put that into your equation up here. So it'll be 14 divided by 7, and the answer is 2 moles. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So what I'd like you to do for this one is to pause the video and have a go at doing that on your own. Okay, let's have a look and see if you have managed to achieve the right answer. Let's go through it together. So how many moles are there in 0.23 grams of sodium? So put our hand over moles, and the equation is mass divided by AR. So mass is not 0.23 grams, AR is 23. So you put it into the equation, and the answer should be 0.01 moles. Right, hopefully you got that right. Let's have a look at the next one. What is the mass of 5 moles of gold? So you cover up mass, that's what you're trying to find out. So the equation is moles times AR. Alright, so we get the number of moles from the question, the AR from your periodic table. you put it into the equation, and the answer is 985 grams. Right, good, well done. So I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at doing these questions on your own. Okay, let's have a look at the answers. Okay, I hope you got those right. If not, go back and see where you may have gone wrong. Okay, if you got those right, well done. Let's move forward onto something a bit more difficult. Okay, let's have a look at this one. How many moles are there in 120 grams of magnesium oxide? So now we've got a compound. Okay, so you do the same thing. You cover up what you're trying to find out, the moles. So our calculation is mass divided by mR. Now the M just means molecule, because we've got a molecule here, really. So that's, and the A just stands for atomic. All right. Now the mass you get from the question, 120 grams. Now the mR, because you've got two atoms here, you need to add them together. So the AR for magnesium is 24. The A of oxygen is 16, so we add them together and we get 40. So the mR is 40. Okay, so you just put that into our equation, and the answer is 3 moles. Okay, pause the video and have a go, see if you can do this one on your own. Okay, let's go through it together. Trying to find out the mass, so we cover up mass, and the equation is moles times mR. Right, so 4 moles is what we get from the question. To find out the mR, the AR of carbon is 12, the AR of oxygen is 16. Now, if you look carefully, you've got 2 lots of oxygen. So that means we've got to find out 2 lots of oxygen, okay? So we need to have, we've got 2 there. So you add them all up together, and we get 44. So the mR is 44. Okay, you put that into our equation, and the answer is 176 grams. Okay, have a go at doing these on your own. Okay, let's have a look at the answer. Right, I hope you got those right. If not, go back and have a look where you went wrong. If so, well done. If you've got any questions or anything, leave them at the bottom. Thanks very much.